Hi everyone, now I'm going to present my final year project and the title is The Impact of AI on Education Among Public University Students During Covid-19 Pandemic. My name is Mohniesha. My metric number is B0619104888. My SV name is Dr. Muhammad Fazli bin Muhammad Sam and my panel name is Mr. Mukifan bin Mukapi. Now I'm going to present my Chapter 4 Data Analysis and Chapter 5 Conclusion Recommendation. Now, I'm going to present my Chapter 4 Data Analysis and Chapter 5 Conclusion Recommendation. Figure 1 shows the result of PLS-SEM algorithm for pilot test. The table above shows crunchbar alpha value for pilot test. According to the table above, all factors in the pilot test add up to 0.923. Crunchbar alpha value for ITU, POU, PU, PI, and PO is more than 0.7. Thus, the pilot test is considered logical and with the question that was created. Next, to determine the measurement model using CTA. To determine the measurement model, we have to see the CI low edges and CI up edges. If all values are negative for CI low edges and CI up edges, and if all values are positive for CI low edges and CI up edges, so the measurement model definitely is formative. If one or more of the value for CI low edges show negative, while CI up edges shows the positive, the measurement model is reflective. In the conclusion, this research is reflective due to, as we can see for intention to use, the CI low edges shows negative, while CI up edges show positive. Next, Figure 2 shows the result of the PLS-SEM algorithm for 180 responders. The reliability coefficient must be at least 0.7 for it to be termed acceptable. The crunchbar alpha value of 0.921 for intention to use, 0.909 for perceived ease of use, 0.918 for perceived innovativeness, 0.912 for perceived optimism, and 0.904 for perceived usefulness. In a nutshell, crunchbar alpha for all factors is acceptable. Next is row C, which is composite reliability. Composite reliability statistics range from 0.929 to 0.941. In conclusions, because all values are more than 0.7, it has been proved that the reflected latent variable has a high degree of internal consistency dependability. Then is the average variance etc. AVE, which is also known as Collinger validity. To have a positive AVE, it must be more than 0.5, which clarified by Hare, Ringel, and Satterstedt in 2011. In the conclusion, AVE for all factors is accepted due to all values are being more than 0.5. Figure 3 shows the result of the bootstrapping. As we can see, the part coefficient table, perceived innovativeness PI and perceived optimism PO significantly affect the intention to use AI on education among public university students. This is because the p-value is less than 0.05. However, perceived ease of use POU and perceived usefulness PU does not significantly affect the intention to use AI on education among public university students due to the p-value for both is being more than 0.05. According to the R-square and R-square edges value, R-square shows 0.556 while R-square edges shows 0.546. According to Hensler and Hare, the R-square edges value of 0.75 is considered to be very considerable, and R-square edges value of 0.5 is considered to be moderated, and R-square edges value of 0.20 is considered to be weak. In conclusion, the R-square edges value in this research is considered moderated. Figure 4 shows the gender of the responder. There are 79 male responders, which is equivalent to 43.9%, while there are 101 female responders, which is equivalent to 56.1% of the total. Since the questionnaire are being delivered randomly to all IPTS students in Malaysia, thus the percentage between the male and female responder are unequal. Figure 5 shows the age of responder. There are three types of age group among the responder, which are age 18 to 25 years old, age 26 to 35 years old, and age 35 and beyond. The majority of the responder are between the age of 18 to 25 years old, where the number of the responder is 165, while the second highest number of the responder are between the age of 26 to 35 years old, with the number of the responder being 30. In addition, just 2 of the responder of the total are older than 35 years old. Figure 6 shows the race of the responder. The highest percentage of the responder are from Chinese and Malay ethnicity with a frequency of 64 responder, 35.6%, then followed by Indian ethnicity, which is 52 responder, 28.9%. Figure 7 shows the year of starry responder. The majority of the responder are from the year 3 group, where the number of the responder is 58, while the second highest number of the responder are from the year 4 group, with the number of the responder being 52. In addition, the true number of the responder for year 2 is 36, while the total number of the responder for year 1 is 34, representing a difference of 1.1% between the year 1 and year 2 students. Figure 8 shows the public university name of the responder. As we can see, the higher responder using AI application on education was from UTeM, University Kebangsaan Malaysia, where the number of the responder is 20. Then, the second highest responder using AI application on education was from University Islam Antarabangsa Malaysia, University Technical Malaysia Malacca, and University Tun Hussein Ong Malaysia, with a number of responder being 15, 8.3%. Next, the university which take third place for high number of responder using AI's application on education is from University Malaysia Kelantan, University Malaysia Terengganu, and University Technology Malaysia. Is the number of the number of the responder is 11. Why? Fourth place was taken by University Utara Malaysia, University Malaysia Pahang, and University Malaya responder, which stand for 9 responder for using AI application on education. Furthermore, University Science Malaysia and University Putra Malaysia have 8 responders who have used AI on education. Then, University Technology Mara, University Sultan Zainal Abidin, University Pertahanan Nasional Malaysia, University Malaysia Sarawak, and University Malaysia Sabah have 5 responders use AI on education, while only 4 responders from University Science Islam Malaysia and University Pendidikan Islam Sultan D. Idris use AI on education. Last but not least, only 3 responder 1.7% from University Malaysia Kelantan who use AI on education. Figure 9 shows the usage of AI application before. There are total 152 responder who have used AI application on education previously, accounting for 84.4%. While only 28 responder who have not used AI application on education. The descriptive analysis of the mean and standard deviation for each variable among the 180 responders was shown in the table above. When analyzing the variable, a Likert scale was used, and the mean result for all of them is more than 4.0. The mean for perceived innovativeness is the greatest, which coming in at 4.106, followed by intention to use with 4.059. Then perceived optimism with 4.053 and perceived ease of use, which is 4.044. In contrast, perceived usefulness turned out to be the lowest, as the mean was just 4.042. When looking at the standard deviation, perceived innovativeness come out on top as having the highest value, which is 0.739. The second factor is the perceived ease of use, which received a score of 0.732. In addition to that, the score of perceived optimism was 0.718. The score for perceived usefulness was 0.701, and the score for intention to use was 0.696. Figure 10 shows the standardized coefficient. According to R square and R square adjusts for multilinear regression, the R square is 0.552, which corresponds to a total variance of 55.2% in the intention to use that may be influenced by 4 independent factors, such as perceived ease of use, perceived usefulness, perceived innovation, and perceived optimism. Additionally, it might be noted that 100% minus 55.2%, so 44.8% are caused by other factors that might affect the intention to use. As we can see in the table of ANOVA of multilinear regression, the F value is 54.006. The significant level was reported to be the 0, bringing up a significant relationship between perceived ease of use, perceived usefulness, perceived innovativeness, and perceived optimism, as the p-value is smaller than 0.05. However, the p-value in the coefficient of multilinear regression has a different value for each factor. According to the coefficient of multilinear regression, each of the independent variables contribute an input, which is to determine the intention of public university students to use AI on education. Then, the most powerful predictor is perceived optimism. With an unstandardized coefficient is 0.407, t-value equal to 3.681, and a significant level is 0, which is less than 0.05. The reason why unstandardized beta shows that perceived optimism has the largest positive value compared to the other independent variables due to it is the most optimistic outlook. Perceived innovativeness was placed the second strongest predictor, where the unstandardized coefficient is 0.259. T-value is 2.224 and the p-value was less than 0.05, which is 0.027. Then, perceived usefulness was shown to be the third greatest predictor, where unstandardized coefficient are 0.056 and t-value is equal to 0.517. Even though the unstandardized beta for perceived usefulness was reported to be the third highest value, this factor does not have a significant relationship with the intention to use AI on education. This is due to the fact that p-value for perceived usefulness reveals 0.606 for p-value. Lastly, the lowest predictor among all independent variables is perceived ease of use, where unstandardized coefficient is 0.022, t-value equal to 0.815, and p-value is more than 0.853. This meant that the perceived ease of use does not have a significant relationship with the intention to use AI on education. As we can see, H1 and H2 were not supported because the p-value was more than 0.05. Then, the t-value for POU, which is perceived ease of use, is 0.106 and the p-value is 0.716, while the t-value for perceived usefulness is 0.589 and the p-value is 0.556. The reason for H3 and H4 hypothesis was supported because where t-value for perceived innovativeness is 0.112 and the p-value for PI, which means perceived innovativeness, is 0.019, which is lower than 0.05, while the t-value and p-value for perceived optimism also show the same, which is the t-value is equal to 4.004 and the p-value is 0. Summary finding for 01. The goal of the study was successfully completed by examining the data using a descriptive analysis, which allowed the researcher to convey the finding using a more straightforward interpretation. There are 4 independent variables such as perceived usefulness, perceived ease of use, perceived optimism, and perceived innovativeness in the application of AI as a means to improve the life of public university students. First, the perceived level of innovativeness has the greatest mean, which comes in at 4.11, and the standard deviation has a value of 0.74. According to research carried out in 2014 by Parasuram and Colby CL, innovativeness serves as one of the motivators that contribute to 3R. As an example of AI innovativeness is when when an interactive learning environments use resources that students already engage with their daily life, such as Facebook and Twitter, which stated by Roll and Wiley in 2016. Next, perceived optimists place second place for the highest mean, which has a mean of 4.05 and a standard deviation of 0.72. In a study that was conducted in 2014 by Parasuram A and Colby CL, the researcher found that optimism is one of the motivators also that contribute TR. Parasuram and Colby in 2001 state that an optimistic outlook fosters the notion that technology is beneficial and user-friendly. Then, perceived ease of use has a mean of 4.04 and a standard deviation of 0.73. The perceived ease of use of a piece of technology is the degree to which its consumer believe they can use it when with a little effort or time spent learning how to utilize it, stated by Davis in 1986. Lastly, perceived usefulness has a mean of lower than other independent variable, which is 4.04, and the standard deviation is 0.70. This is because a person notion that will be able to do their job duties more efficiently if they make use of the technology tool is what we mean when we talk about perceived usefulness, stated by Davis in 1986. For objective 2, the researcher has reached the second research objective by using path coefficient by Smart PS software. The path coefficient of p-value shows that two variables has a significant relationship with intention to use AI on education, while another two does not have a significant relationship with the intention to use due to the p-value of more than 0.05. Firstly, the path coefficient p-value for perceived innovativeness and perceived optimism shows 0.019 and 0. This can define that p-value for each variable shows the positive and significant with the intention to use AI on education. Furthermore, the existence of the condition was shown in Larastik in 2017 and Damazi in 2019, plus Shi and Lee in 2014, of which found that the result for optimism and innovativeness component has a substantial positive link with the desire to use AI. Next, path coefficient toward the intention to use AI on education do not have a significant relationship with perceived ease of use. This is because the p-value of for path coefficient is 0.716, which is higher than 0.05. It also higher than perceived usefulness. According to the finding of Meles etc. in 2011, the influence of perceived useful on technology adoption was shown to be large than impact of perceived usefulness on one desire to use technology. Even though some studies and research show that perceived ease of use has a significant relationship with the intention to use, the p-value for path coefficient show that perceived ease of use has a higher value, which is more than 0.05. Last but not least, the path coefficient p-value for perceived usefulness is shown 0.556. It also higher than significant value, which is 0.05. According to Shi and Lee in 2014, they found that perceived usefulness had the favorable effect on the student desire to utilize or use AI technology. However, Stroll etc. in 2011, they discovered in their research on bachelor degree students in Hong Kong that perceived usefulness did not have a student intention to use the technology, namely an e-portfolio learning system that is more relatable to AI. For objective 3, researchers use Smart PLA software to do further evaluation with the help of multi-linear regression, allow the third study aim to be successful completely. Unstandardized beta revealed that the failed optimism has turned out to be the most important factor, which is the unstandardized coefficient is 0.407, which was greater as compared to the other independent variable. This indicates that perceived optimism has turned out to be the most insignificant component. This demonstrates that this aspect is the one that will impact or affect the desire of students attending public institutions to make use of AI. Then the next piece of advice, evidence that back up the discovery was the significant value for perceived optimism, which was found to be 0, with a p-value that was lower than 0.05. Now is recommendation for future study. The variation identified in these researches R-squared were approximately 44.8, suggesting that there is a chance that addition relevant variable might affect users' intention. It is for this reason that it has been suggested that an expression of this study will be studied in the process of finding favorable cases. In addition, the goal of the subsequent research project is to enhance the UTeM and TRI framework in such a way as to find more independent variables that are included in the original construct. In addition, in the future, it is important to encourage other researchers to do the further exploring. In the next step, it is advised that the qualitative research approach be used because, such as face-to-face interview in order to collect specific perspective from the students attending public university in the future. By conducting the semi-structured interview with the responder, or even use the delete technique, we can collect data from them in order to find out their thoughts on the use of AI in the field of education. Next is recommendation for students. Students should use AI tools to their benefit in the classroom, but they also should take care to avoid developing a reliance on such tools. Because of this, they should never stop actively combining in its usage with more conventional form of education. Second, it is important that students cultivate an optimistic outlook on technology and have an open, constructability, critical mind as they investigate and experiment with new tools for education. Recommendation for university, which is university might arrange the programmers to let students experience the advantage of being pioneer in adapting AI technology in order to encourage students to be innovative. This is because innovators can significantly improve students' intention to use AI. Conclusion: the purpose of this paper is to supply all individuals with the means of collective and in-depth understanding of the desire to apply AI on education institution. Besides that, the researcher may draw the following conclusion based on the finding of this study. There is a substantial relationship between the two of the criteria, which are perceived innovativeness and perceived optimism toward the intention to use AI on education. As a result, this research offers vital insight into the effect of AI on education and serves as a conceptual foundation for this emerging area of research.